Hey everyone, my name is Stephanie. I worked with a student whose name is Will. He is mainstreamed in a 3rd grade classroom. He is 9 years old and he has a bilateral hearing loss with 2 cochlear implants. He was implanted in the left ear around 1, and then about 6 years later he was implanted with the right ear cochlear implant. So he's only been using the right ear for two years. I presented this video as if I was talking to his mom and giving her the information that I found, that I learned from the assessments that I was giving him this semester. So if you are questioning why I'm talking like I am, it's because I was acting as if I was talking to his mom, not another teacher. I'm going to apologize ahead of time for my signing skills or the lack of, and for saying or a lot in my videos. I also added some slides behind me from my PowerPoint so you could see what my PowerPoint is without needing to go and just look or upload my PowerPoint to your computer. So this presentation is for his mom. It's about my student, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Hello. So today I'm going to be discussing what I found in 4 things. The first, we'll be talking about the language sample, and then we'll be talking about the reading. We'll be talking about the spelling as well as the written sample that I have gotten from Will. So first, let's talk about the language sample, and I'm going to put up a screen that you can see and read for yourself. You know how it was taken. You know that we were, video conferencing over Skype. And so I just have a screen that I'm going to share with you to show you or kind of explain a little bit of what happened and how it was taken. So here you go. So you read that I had saved 6 minutes of the 45-minute video with Will when we worked this week. And in that 6-minute video, he had given me 43 lines, but they were not all sentences. I counted sentences when he showed that he knew a noun and a verb at the same time. So some of these 15 sentences that he had with both a noun and a verb, he demonstrated complex sentences by showing me that he had 2 nouns and verbs within that one sentence. So that means that he had more clauses than he did sentences, which helped his MLU when I calculated that. So some of the errors that Will had given me were that he would omit the plural S, and that he would not have verbs with his nouns. A lot of his language sample, which you will see at the end of the language sample in my report, he had many nouns but not very many verbs. So I couldn't count that sentence as a true sentence without both. So here is what I found within my 6-minute video of my language sample. I also showed you the amount of words per sentence, and here's what I found within Will's word choice. And here's a chart that I have that shows you the different words that Will has. In my language sample report, I have color-coded each word that he had used to show you the amount of different words. And a lot of his word choices were nouns. He didn't show a lot of verbs. So here's the chart that I had saved to help you understand the different kinds of words that Will was using within my language sample. Some of the goals that I had created for Will to work on are to construct sentences with both noun-verb pairs, to formulate simple compound sentences, to integrate the plural s when appropriately needed, to specify what needs to be repeated when he doesn't understand the question, to apply a variety of different vocabulary words, and to describe objects with adjectives within Minecraft. In the language sample, Will was not giving me a lot of adjectives to describe what to look for. So that was one thing that I know that he has in his vocabulary, but not using a lot. So to work on these goals, these are the 3 things that I would work on using. Sabotage, meaning that I would give him incorrect information to see if he would correct me. Higher level thinking questions. So instead of asking what or where or who, I might ask why or how, to make sure that he's giving me a lot more information. And then finally, I want Will to be able to ask for the information that he needs, not just saying what or but to ask, can you repeat that again, or to tell me what he heard. So when I ask, what did you hear? That means that after I say something, if he asks me what, then I would say, what did you hear? Tell me what you heard. Then I know what he's missing. So I know if it's a hearing or if he's just not understanding the question. So these are the 3 things that I would work on to meet the goals for Will. So now we're going to be talking about the reading, the basic reading inventory. I'm going to put up a screen for you to read yourself, and then we'll talk more about the reading. So here I have some charts to show you the difference between the word list and the reading. So here is the word list, and you can see that I went all the way to 6th grade, which does not mean that he's reading at the 6th grade level, but that's where he hit frustration. And then here I have the reading where he read to me, and again I went all the way to 6th grade. Notice that in his oral reading he never hit the frustration only level, but you can see that it took him a lot more time to read the passage. And all passages had 100 words. So from the first reading, where he only took 40 seconds to read the whole passage, and then at the last one in 6th grade, where it took him 82 seconds to read the whole passage. Here I have a chart to show you the difference between his silent reading and his listening reading. So behind me, we have his silent reading, where he read to himself from 1st grade all the way until 4th grade. And they were all about the same amount of time to read himself. But when I asked comprehension questions, he struggled to answer appropriately and give me the correct answer. in listening reading, I did not time that because I read that to him. But when he answered my questions, he didn't yet hit frustration level, but I could tell that he really was having a hard time understanding what I was asking, and answering vocabulary questions was a struggle for him as well. So here's a chart that I created for the word list. In the word list, Will just read the words to me. In first grade, he got all of the words the first time. Second grade was the same way. He answered them all correctly the first time. Third grade, he only got 17 of the words correct. And when I went back and asked him to repeat again the words that he missed, he said the same thing. He did not try to tell me a different word. So he missed 3 words. Fourth grade, he missed 5 of the words and he did the same thing as third grade and did not give me or answer with a different word. That was 5th grade. And then 6th grade, he had missed 9 words, and that's where I decided to just stop. In the passages, when he was reading to me, he had missed some words within the passage. So in 2nd grade, he missed 2 words in the passage. 3rd grade, he missed 3. 4th grade, he missed 4. And 5th and 6th grade, he missed 6 in both. In the reading passages, he did not hit the frustration level, but when he was answering my questions, he didn't comprehend or answer appropriately, and I could tell that he was becoming frustrated when I was asking him questions. So here is a chart of the comprehension questions that I asked, and it shows you how many questions that he missed within that grade level. So for oral, you have 1 section, then you have listening, and then you have silence. Notice that he hit the frustration level at 4th grade, which means that he does not have that silent reading ability yet. He has not created that reading in his head yet. It doesn't happen until 3rd grade, where the students start reading to themselves and not reading, aloud with the class. So he hit the frustration level at 4th grade reading, which is still above his grade level, but I stopped there because I knew that he was not answering the questions appropriately. With the chart behind me, I am showing you the different type of questions that were asked when we were working on the passages. And then I sectioned it into different, first he read to me, then he was listening, then he was silently reading. So there's 3 different sections that I had separated it. Notice that he struggled most with the vocabulary questions. He couldn't tell me what a vocabulary word meant, but he could give me that same vocabulary word in a different content. So for example, I had asked him what the word sailing meant, and it was a story about a girl who was playing soccer, and she kicked the ball and it went sailing into the goal. And the answer that he had given me said, like a sailboat. So he knew the word, but he couldn't tell me the meaning of the word within the passage that he read. I also noticed that when I was reading to him If he could not see the passage himself and read it with me, he had a harder time understanding the questions and remembering what happened in the story, because if he missed it and didn't hear appropriately what I said, then when I asked the question, he struggled answering because he might have missed what I said because he did not have the passage in front of him. So it helps if he has the passage there to where he can read it with the person that's reading it to him. So similar to the reading, in the spelling, Will would omit the endings, or if he did not know the word, then he used he tried to listen to the way that it sounds. So if words were used with a different spelling pattern, he missed it because he was only using the way that it sounded. So some of the words that he missed were throat. He missed the A. He listened to O, but he missed the A. So I know in this, when I asked him to spell the word throat, he asked Siri on his iPad how to spell throat. And Siri did not understand what he was asking. So I told him, no, you can't use Siri for this. But this is what he gave me. When I asked him carries, he spelled carry. He did not give me the correct ending. Same with favor. He spelled it with an ER and not an OR. So some of the endings he would omit, which were similar to his readings. If he was reading a word, he would just recognize the root word and give me that without noticing or looking for the endings. So it was the same patterns within his spelling that happened, and same within his written as well, and we'll talk about that later. So here's a chart of the elementary level words that I had worked on with Will. And then we worked on intermediate. So I will show you that chart as well. Here we do not see endings that are being omitted or missed. Here he's spelled using the same patterns that he used before, but is sounding it out. So when I asked him to spell squirt, he spelled skirt, S-K-U-R-T, using the way that it sounded. Same with, I asked for throat again to see if he could tell me the right way this time, and he missed it again. But then finally, smudge, he spelled it smudge, S-M-U-G, using the sounding it out pattern. So here's this chart for that. So now we're going to talk about the written sample that Will had given me. I had asked Will different questions about something that we were talking about. He was only giving me one word answers, so I decided that I was going to ask him to write me just a short story about his favorite world in Minecraft. So this is what he wrote about. And in this sample, Will gave me, it had 7 different sentences, and of these 7 sentences, 5 were correct sentences. He averaged about 12.7 MLU. And then some of the errors that I found within his sample showed me that he would add an apostrophe where it was not needed. So, for example, he said lots and added the apostrophe before the S. But when he would say that's, he would not add the apostrophe. So some just grammatical errors that he had made. And I noticed that he struggled with past tense verbs. So he would not, or he would omit the ED, and then adding the S on some of them. I found that he added S on one word, but often did not add it when needed, similar to his reading and spelling. The endings were always often omitted. So here are some of the errors that I found.